Erin Cruz has been a resident of the state of California 38 of her 40 years, an author of the political and business communication book Revolution America, and is the producer and host of The Erin Cruz Show. Mrs. Cruz is a Tea Party Republican and a constitutional conservative. She's a self-described conservatarian, ladies and gentlemen, and she's running to replace Dianne Feinstein in the once great state of California as a United States Senator. Ms. Cruz, welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Once great California, we are going to make California golden again. That's our goal.
Well,
our goal is to unify.
Look, I'm a native-born San Diegan. I left California in 2006, what I call the People's Republic of California. And I was just telling the folks on the show, I've told this story several times. I went back last year, and I can't believe just how far California has fallen. I mean, tent cities of illegal aliens all over the population centers. Los Angeles and Orange County is where I saw. It's getting pretty bad out there, yes?
Well, that's what it seems to be the case. We have a rising level of homelessness. Illegal aliens are being put before, and refugees are being put before the American citizen in terms of benefits and aid, and that's unfortunate. It has to change.
No, I couldn't agree more. Now, look, I remember, because I was involved intimately in Republican California politics, and even back in my day when I was there. The California Republican Party, let's just say, I'll say it so you don't have to. It's just not the greatest. They seem to be of this Washington mentality of the mainstream Republican Party, that their job is to roll over for Democrats. That seems to be the mentality of a lot of the Democrat Party, even among those who are Latinos out there who are in the Republican Party. They seem to be of a mindset out there to wait their turn. I actually had a guy tell me that. Oh, we just have to wait our turn. I said, to heck with that. I'm not waiting. Give us some of your struggles and what you're finding to try to get some traction in a heavily blue state as a legitimate conservative, not just a Republican, but a conservative.
Well, getting traction isn't that hard when you're trying to follow somebody like Donald Trump, who's an outsider, really. He's not a politician. He's never held an office, and he went for it. And after writing my book, I decided, a couple of weeks ago, actually literally a couple of weeks ago, somebody approached me and they said, nobody's really running. And I looked at the candidates and I thought, there's nobody I can vote for here. What am I going to do? And I thought about my book, Revolution America, and what I said in there, which is, we are Revolution America. I mean, we're it. We have to make a decision of what role we want to play in our country and in our families and in our communities. And then I prayed about it and thought about it and said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to run for Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat. And this is insane. This is crazy. I've never run for office, but you know what? Neither did Donald Trump. Donald Trump had an uphill battle fighting the media, stigma, the establishment. He's still struggling with this. I don't think it's something that's going to go away for me. But you know what I've seen is that the people are motivated. He started something more than just, a run for office. He started a movement.
Right. Let me ask you about.
We can jump on that momentum. I do believe that there's been somewhat of a climate change there, and many people have strongly backed me here on the ground.
Well, let me ask you about the Republican Party, because they have a practice out there, and maybe you're familiar with it, of just putting in placeholders, just to say they put up somebody. And what the practice is to put up somebody to lose. That's the Republican Party of California's agenda, is to put up somebody that's going to lose. Have they done so? Because from what I'm understanding, they didn't approach you. You're doing this on your own. So do the Republican?
I've decided to do this on my own. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've wanted to run for other offices, small offices, and I really never received much backup or support in that area.
Yeah, I know.
And when I decided to do this, I did it all feet in. But the thing is this, is that whether or not they approach you, whether or not you approach them, these things have to change. Putting in a placeholder, I'm not going to say they do that. I will say that, when they see people who want to run and serve the American public, the California citizens here,
Yep.
their job is to support them. And that's what I've received from the CRP. I've received, and this is overwhelming support in terms of resources and guidance. And I think part of it is, people who want to run for office, they need to just jump both feet in and say, I need you to help me. We need to do this. And the Republican Party, what I've seen just in the last few weeks, I've got more help than I ever did before.
Well,
when I wanted to run, and that's good news to me. Now, putting in a placeholder, I've heard that too. I've seen a little bit of it last election against Kamala Harris, but it's. I think again after Donald Trump, some things have changed, and it's good to see.
Well, praise God. I hope
people
it's
uniting.
I hope it's true. Let me ask you. By the way,
Well,
Erin Cruz. Erin Cruz is our guest right now, folks, here on the Chris Salcedo Show. She's running to replace Dianne Feinstein and occupy that Senate seat from California. Your last name is Cruz, and we have a love for that name out here in the great state of Texas for obvious reasons. We've had good luck with folks named Cruz out here in the state of Texas. Let me ask you: is that a married name, or are you a Latina, or because identity politics, they're big in California? What is your background?
Yeah, so identity politics are what is killing the United States of America.
Sure.
We should be voting for people who can make impact and are going to make good policy choices, not on the color of skin, gender, or any other value. That yes, it is a married name.
Ah, okay.
And I am of European descent. My family came here in late 1820s to the United States and worked in agriculture. And infrastructure and agriculture. My other side of the family came here from Austria, and it basically escaped, the Nazis. So, that's Cruz. I have a real problem when I'm identified as say a Latino, not because I'm not Latino, but because the premise of this is that somehow by association of a name or by association of a nationality, I might be preferred.
No. And you know what? That's part of the reason why this program exists, is to destroy those stereotypes.
We need to neutralize that.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. We need the best candidates for the country.
Exactly. You are spot on that. And again, that's the reason why this program and my buddy Kevin Jackson, the Black Sphere, why programs like that exist is because the predicate has been laid down that if you're to be a legitimate Latino, you must be a liberal. If you're to be a legitimate black person, then you must be a progressive. And nothing can be further from the truth. Everything boils down, and this is a Salcedo Show axiom, that everything boils down to ideology. Ideology trumps, if you'll pardon the pun, everything. So, look, Erin, I want to ask you about something that's going on in your state. We just talked about it briefly on the program, about this new California movement. Let me play a little snippet from the CBS report, and I'll get you to react. Hold on.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to seek a constitutional remedy to the abuse of powers.
With the reading of their own version of a Declaration of Independence, founders of the state of New California took the first steps to what they hope will eventually lead to statehood. To be clear, they don't want to leave the United States. They want to expand it, becoming state number 51. But the question is, what is your problem with the current state of California?
And that is a long list. But the folks who are pushing this effort, those who don't have any representation in Sacramento, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, and now in the United States Capitol, because Kamala Harris and Dianne Feinstein don't represent geographically a large portion of California, because these folks are left-wing extremists. How are you going to reach the folks who feel underrepresented right now, Republicans and conservatives?
Well, this is the thing. This goes in the same line, Chris, with identity politics, is that, we have right now a situation where a group of people don't feel represented, and so somehow they're going to pull away and they're going to create a 51st state. Look, we have to unite. We're all Californians. This idea to divide or to pull off is not going to solve anything. If you were to take that energy that you're putting into, the North splitting from the South, or New California from, the old California, whatever you want to do, you take all that energy and you put it into actionable change of the leadership here in California. If you have the power to break off a state, you sure as heck must have the power to break off and fix the leadership issues.
Well, and there are some serious leadership issues out there in the state of California.
So that I believe that there can be better solutions made, and one of those is to harness the energy properly and to make change in this next election process.
Erin Cruz, our guest right now, folks. Last question I have for you.
Yeah.
She is running for the United States Senate to replace Dianne Feinstein. The Department of Homeland Security came out yesterday and said they were exploring ways to prosecute Democrats, because there's no Republican in the United States who is thumbing their nose at federal immigration law. It's exclusively Democrats. They want to talk about prosecuting and throwing in jail Democrats who stand in the way of enforcing deportation for illegal alien felons. What do you think about that?
Well, I was looking, after you asked me to weigh in on this, I was looking at the issue of the sanctuary ordinance in, like, for example, San Francisco. And this is an issue where San Francisco has fought against federal immigration laws since, way back 89. And then again in 2013, there were more issues with the due process for all, where they pushed back literally on giving it, ICE advance notice of a person's release from local jail. They don't adhere to some of the policies that are in place. And I've signed and I've mailed in a statement to Numbers USA on my stances on immigration reform. And I fully back the federal government and whatever they have to do to support and enforce immigration laws against these rogue cities and states. It's not okay for these areas. Now, I believe in states' rights, but it's also not okay for these areas to overstep their bounds and impact the California taxpayers as they are and citizenry as they are. It's not. And, I think it's good that the federal government look at what ways they can take action against these individuals who are going against federal law, which is there to protect.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm just tired of Democrats getting away with breaking the law. I'm just tired of it.
It is. And passing unlawful laws. That's what we're seeing right now in Sacramento, and that's what's probably, causing a lot of the divide and people wanting to move off to this new California. But the thing is this: we have to unite. We have to become a united front in California, make California great again, and not just saying that, like, let's make California great again, but really, let's do it. Let's unite. Let's vote the right people in. Let's get active in our communities. Let's increase our Republican voter rolls. That's one of the issues that's a problem for me in terms of getting over this hurdle. We need more Republican voters. If you want to vote for me, if you really want change, if you don't want Dianne Feinstein in that seat and you want to see her gone, and just say you're an independent or you're a libertarian or even a blue dog Democrat,
well,
you're going to have to change your votership. You're going to have to become a Republican voter in order to vote for me in the primary.
It's true. And you know what, folks? Look, we can't vote for you out here in the state of Texas, but we can send some help your way. So what is
get your California friends on board here.
Or why don't you give us the website where folks can go?
Yeah. Please go to voteerincruz.com. That's VOTEERINCRUZ.com.
And that's going to do it for the Chris Salcedo Show worldwide for this evening on the Vita Television Network. Weigh in anytime on the program on Twitter at Chris Salcedo TX. And you can leave voicemail or email at chrissalcedo.com. We'll see you next time for the Chris Salcedo Show worldwide here on the Vita Television Network.